live stream without permission of the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network is a violation. This live stream is a copyright of the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network. Reproduction or distribution of this live stream without permission of the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network is a violation of the law.
Hi there, this is Joey Pauley, third generation owner of Pauley Eyes in Grinnell. Since 1957, we've been serving the flavors you savor. We only use the freshest ingredients for our salads, sandwiches, pasta, and pizza, guaranteed. Plus, don't forget about our award-winning Liquid Gold Ranch and Champagne Cake. Also, keep an eye out on our social media where we release limited-time pizza specials like a pickle wrap, sweet corn, and buffalo chicken pizzas, just to name a few. See you soon at Pauley Eyes in downtown Grinnell.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
At Ramsey Weeks, it's the synergy of insurance and real estate that makes our local office vibrant. At Ramsey Weeks, our success depends on yours in buying or selling property, in insuring your car, home, farm, or business. In your time of need, our success depends on yours. Ramsey Weeks Insurance and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, 715 Fifth Avenue, Grinnell.
We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company. Quality that you can trust in every building we construct. Proline is the place to know. We're committed to helping your dreams grow. We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company.
Weldon Drywall is your local drywall professional, serving a 70-mile perimeter around Iowa City. They provide services to commercial builders, general contractors, and residential homeowners. Projects can include commercial build-outs, new construction for multi-family and residential homes, to remodeling projects such as your new addition to basement drywall projects, even down to the simplest 2x2 patch in your wall. Weldon Drywall is here for you. Check out our website at weldon-drywall.com and fill out our contact form for your free estimate today.
Hey Tiger fans, I'm Pastor Phil inviting you to try church at Prairie Lakes, where you'll hear that God loves you no matter what. Parents, your kids are going to love learning about God in our safe and fun children's environments, so no matter where you're at with what you believe, you can look for God at Prairie Lakes Church. Go Tigers, and I hope to see you soon.
This is a story about signs. It's also a story about people's experiences. The humble sign. They are everywhere. But signs are more than just a plaque on the wall, an arrow, or letters on a building exterior. Signs help you leave a legacy or start a new chapter in life. All those signs have to start somewhere, and that's where we come in. We're your trusted partner in everything signage and graphics.
Mayflower Community is currently hiring nursing staff. If you are passionate about healthcare and the well-being of older adults, Mayflower Community wants you. Employees enjoy a daily meal, coffee cappuccino and lotus drinks, fitness center, and a family-oriented work culture that is flexible with your needs. You will find competitive pay and benefits. Mayflower Community, a place to call home and a great place to work. For more information, visit our website at mayflowerhomes.com or call 641-236-6151.
Tired of bad internet and bad service? Switch to MCG and experience the benefits of better internet. We employ a local team that answers the phone when you call. We provide same-day support and symmetrical upload and download. We offer benefits like free install, free router, and no introductory pricing. We offer internet that works when you need it. No data caps, no fine print, and absolutely no hidden fees. Sign up with MCG today and experience the benefits of better internet service.
The Dairy Barn, located at 1810 6th Avenue in Grinnell. Stop by before or after the big ball game to pick up your favorite ice cream or flavor of the day yogurt. They also have a full line of delicious foods, including tenderloins, pulled pork sandwiches, popular chicken wraps, and much, much more. Don't have time to stop at the barn? Catch them on the move at some of the favorite events around Grinnell, or give us a call and try out our catering. And don't forget to check out www.dairybarngrinnell.com to order online or the Chow Now app. Remember, I scream, you scream, we all scream for Dairy Barn.
Grinnell Booster Club supports all Tiger athletics from the middle school all the way up to the high school through fundraising, membership drives, concession stand revenues at all the home events. There are many different ways you can get involved. One, through membership levels from a single, a family, even into the business. There are many attractive levels that you can be a part of this wonderful club. Your membership funds help support uniforms, warm-ups, summer speed camps, baseball and softball batting cages, and the list goes on. You want to be a part of a great group? Join the Grinnell Booster Club today.
Hey guys, Corner at Wagner Wheels West in Grinnell, and today's boot of the week. So we're going to get right into it. For the men's side, we have this Tony Lama boot here. This boot has a lot to talk about. It has a very nice leather sole. Next to the ladies' boot, also Tony Lama boot. Again, a gray color. You got the leather sole. Riding heel, even though it's a fashion boot. Not really any spur shelf at all. But yeah, come check them out. Come see us, and thanks for watching.
Hi there, this is Joey Pauley, third generation owner of Pauley Eyes in Grinnell. Since 1957, we've been serving the flavors you savor. We only use the freshest ingredients for our salads, sandwiches, pasta, and pizza, guaranteed. Plus, don't forget about our award-winning Liquid Gold Ranch and Champagne Cake. Also, keep an eye out on our social media where we release limited-time pizza specials like a pickle wrap, sweet corn, and buffalo chicken pizzas, just to name a few. See you soon at Pauley Eyes in downtown Grinnell.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
At Ramsey Weeks, it's the synergy of insurance and real estate that makes our local office vibrant. At Ramsey Weeks, our success depends on yours in buying or selling property, in insuring your car, home, farm, or business. In your time of need, our success depends on yours. Ramsey Weeks Insurance and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, 715 5th Avenue, Grinnell.
We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company. Quality that you can trust in every building we construct. Proline is the place to know. We're committed to helping your dreams grow. We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company.
Weldon Drywall is your local drywall professional, serving a 70-mile perimeter around Iowa City. They provide services to commercial builders, general contractors, and residential homeowners. Projects can include commercial build-outs, new construction for multi-family and residential homes, to remodeling projects such as your new addition to basement drywall projects, even down to the simplest 2x2 patch in your wall. Weldon Drywall is here for you. Check out our website at weldon-drywall.com and fill out our contact form for your free estimate today.
Hey, Tiger fans, I'm Pastor Phil inviting you to try church at Prairie Lakes, where you'll hear that God loves you no matter what. Parents, your kids are going to love learning about God in our safe and fun children's environments, so no matter where you're at with what you believe, you can look for God at Prairie Lakes Church. Go Tigers, and I hope to see you soon.
This is a story about signs. It's also a story about people's experiences. The humble sign. They are everywhere. But signs are more than just a plaque on the wall, an arrow, or letters on a building exterior. Signs help you leave a legacy or start a new chapter in life. All those signs have to start somewhere, and that's where we come in. We're your trusted partner in everything signage and graphics.
Mayflower Community is currently hiring nursing staff. If you are passionate about healthcare and the well-being of older adults, Mayflower Community wants you. Employees enjoy a daily meal, coffee cappuccino and lotus drinks, fitness center, and a family-oriented work culture that is flexible with your needs. You will find competitive pay and benefits. Mayflower Community, a place to call home and a great place to work. For more information, visit our website at mayflowerhomes.com or call 641-236-6151.
Tired of bad internet and bad service? Switch to MCG and experience the benefits of better internet. We employ a local team that answers the phone when you call. We provide same-day support and symmetrical upload and download. We offer benefits like free install, free router, and no introductory pricing. We offer internet that works when you need it. No data caps, no fine print, and absolutely no hidden fees. Sign up with MCG today and experience the benefits of better internet service.
The Dairy Barn, located at 1810 6th Avenue in Grinnell. Stop by before or after the big ball game to pick up your favorite ice cream or flavor of the day yogurt. They also have a full line of delicious foods, including tenderloins, pulled pork sandwiches, popular chicken wraps, and much, much more. Don't have time to stop at the barn? Catch them on the move at some of the favorite events around Grinnell, or give us a call and try out our catering. And don't forget to check out www.dairybarngrinnell.com to order online or the Chow Now app. Remember, I scream, you scream, we all scream for Dairy Barn.
Grinnell Booster Club supports all Tiger athletics from the middle school all the way up to the high school through fundraising, membership drives, concession stand revenues at all the home events. There are many different ways you can get involved. One, through membership levels from a single, a family, even into the business. There are many attractive levels that you can be a part of this wonderful club. Your membership funds help support uniforms, warm-ups, summer speed camps, baseball and softball batting cages, and the list goes on. You want to be a part of a great group? Join the Grinnell Booster Club today.
Hey guys, corner at Wagner Wheels West in Grinnell, and today
Good evening and welcome to the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network broadcast or live stream of the Grinnell Triangular. I have my guest analysis with me tonight, Tim Hammond. Thank you, Tim, for joining me and helping me get through this night.
Thanks for inviting me.
I learned a lot last year when we did this one, and you and Katie came in, and I got home and told Lori, it's like, I know nothing about swimming.
Well,
but it was fun.
Sadly, we don't have Katie to keep us on task
But
here.
tonight we have right here in the Grinnell Natatorium, it's Centerville, Des Moines East, and Grinnell. And Tim, I'll let you give a little bit outline of how the program's going to work, and then we'll kind of, hopefully they'll be lined up that we'll be ready for a national anthem and go from there.
Yeah, like you said, not everybody is our avid swimming and diving spectators, and so just to give clarity for people who haven't seen a lot of meets, what we're going to see is we're going to start out with the 200 medley relay, and the junior varsity races will happen first, and then the varsity races will happen. Some events will have a JV race, some events won't, and then we'll do some more swimming. Then there will be a diving event, and then we'll go back to swimming. And then there will be another break before we finish up the meet. And during that one break, you'll just see some swimmers get in the water and swim around as recovery or warming up for their subsequent events. So that's the gist of it.
And as we kind of get things set up for the night, you'll see that there's the lanes that kind of give you a brief description of, it doesn't completely align with the lane they're in, but if you see a name that's up in the top left-hand corner, it says they're in 5, 6, 7, show how they're going to start out. At least it gives you a good reference of where those lanes are at on the pool. The one that's not labeled is lane 10. That's the one that's closest to us. So where the white walkway is in between the separation water of this inside that's closest to the screen or to the bottom of the screen, that's actually lane 10, and then it goes forward. Furthest lane all the way across is lane 1. And like Tim said, there's some that it actually shows when we get into the 50-yard freestyle. Looks like they use all 10 lanes.
Yeah.
Or they won't use lane 1, but they use 2
right
through 10. So that gives you a little bit of perspective. And then as we switch, like Tim said, when we go to the diving side of it, you'll see this screen flip to the other side. We will put the scoreboard on the opposite side, the right-hand side, and then you'll have the diving up in the far corner of your left-hand side. So we'll try to do our best of keeping everybody in tune to visually see what's out there. This is not a perfected thing. It's not like I'm at a football game where I got 5 cameras and I know exactly what I've been doing. I've been doing it for 5 years. But swimming, we did kind of a dry run, or I guess we'll call it a wet run last year, and it seemed to go pretty well, so that's the hope of going this year. But until we get started, we're just going to let you watch the pool here. You'll see some people moving around, and we'll turn on the main announcer mic when we come back, and we'll see you probably in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Tim.
can I share just one more thing for our spectators? Most of the time, in most of the events, the vast majority of them, you're going to see the same teams in the same lanes.
Okay.
So if East is in, they're going to be generally in lanes 3, 6, and 9. Grinnell will generally be in 4, 7, and 10. Centerville doesn't have a lot of swimmers, and so at times Centerville will be in some of those lanes, and Grinnell and East will be in different lanes.
Okay.
But much of the time, that's what we'll see. For instance, in the 50, where Centerville does have some athletes, they'll be in lane 10, 5, and 8.
Okay. And again, the scoreboard up in your top left of the screen, it is very clear, so you should be able to see
right,
it.
exactly.
And the people that are watching it on their big screen at home, I'm sure it's very clear, and you'll have a good lineup and see what's going on. So we'll be back in a couple minutes when we get started. And again, you're watching Grinnell Tiger ladies swimming on the Grinnell Tiger Sports live stream network.
For the second Grinnell High School Swim Meet of the Year, please join me in welcoming the following team: Des Moines East High School, Centerville High School, and your hometown Grinnell BJM Baxter team, coached by Sarah Smith, Deidre Freeman Huff, and Jordan Huff. Captained by our seniors, Lillian Ford, Isabel Kinkle, Claire Manab, Bailey Moore, Nora Nickel, Piper Rundall, Cameron Russell, and Zoe Tauber. Your official this evening is Dave Toma. Now please stand as you are able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Event one, please report to your lanes.
All right. Thank you, PA announcer, for our national anthem on that. And they are about ready to get started. They've called for the report to your lanes.
So the first event we're going to see, the first race, is going to be the Junior Varsity 200 medley relay, and only East will be competing in this event. You might have noticed during the national anthem that the swimmers lined up on what we call the far side of the pool, and without starting blocks. Were quite a few swimmers standing over there, and that was East's team. And so you notice that they have quite a deep team, quite a few roster members. Grinnell has a team that is about that size, and Centerville is quite a bit smaller. Despite having such a deep team on East Side, I did talk to their coach, and she did share that they don't have a lot of experience on the team. They have a few swimmers that have been swimming quite a while, but most of them are pretty new, and some of them had never swam competitively before joining the team this year.
Girls, Junior Varsity 200-yard medley relay. Mr. Starter.
And that's not something that's too uncommon in Iowa high school swimming. You know, people join because everybody can participate. So what we're going to see is the swimmers, despite the heat sheet saying only East is competing, it looks like we're going to have two teams competing in this junior varsity race. So you see the athletes jump into the water in the medley relay.
Sturz, Swaby, Clark, and Jacob. In lane 6, Des Moines East. Perry, Smith, Anderson, and Weers, Asa.
So in the medley relay, they're going to start off with backstroke, and then you're seeing the next swimmer in the relay step up on the block for the exchange, and they'll be diving in and doing breaststroke. Saw the swimmer in lane 6. She did touch the lane line. It's totally legal as long as she doesn't make, forward advancement by touching part of the pool.
And I know that you swam a lot, but when you're doing a backstroke like that, what is the mechanism that basically says that you're going to swim straight?
So you have a few things. So obviously the lane ropes, we often refer to them as lane lines as well, that are the sides of the lane. You will see through this meet a couple times people will run into those just because they're not as practiced in swimming backstroke in a straight line. But being indoors is very helpful. In the ceiling, you can see that there are beams that run across the ceiling, and those give you straight lines. So you're looking up at those, and you can see. In other states where it's warmer, and even in high school swimming, they compete outside, or in club swimming when you're traveling to meets from Iowa where you're competing outdoors, or during the summer in Iowa. The clouds are not very helpful. and it can be quite a bit more difficult to swim in a straight line, but with practice, you can get pretty good at it. And then you can see the flags that are hanging over the pool, and those help you know when you're getting close to the end of the pool. And so that helps you know when you need to flip over and turn, and when you're about ready to finish.
And I just noticed that they have lane markers on them also. 10.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yep. The other thing that people, if you're looking close in the webcast, that you can maybe see in markers are yellow markers on the lane ropes. And those are the 15-meter marks. And so from the blocks to you would pass one yellow mark, and then you'd get to a second yellow mark. You have to, in all the strokes other than breaststroke, you have to surface from coming off of a wall before you get to, or as you get to those marks in both directions. And in case anybody isn't aware, the person that's pacing up and down the bulkhead, that white walkway, that is the official for the meet. So he'll be starting all the races, and then he's making sure that people use legal technique and touch all the walls and that kind of thing. All right, now we're going to see the varsity 200 medley relay.
Event 2. Girls Varsity 200-yard medley relay. Mr. Starter.
So we have Grinnell and East in this race. So it seems that Centerville's team that was scheduled to be in this heat swam in the earlier heat.
Lane 3, Des Moines East. Lane 4, Grinnell B. Lane 6, Des Moines East A. Lane 7, Grinnell A.
So I hear him saying A and B, Tim, in a varsity. So just are they allowed to run two teams in the varsity side?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So they have multiple relays, and each team has multiple relays in this race. So generally, it's pretty common that the A relay is going to be the fastest relay, B is the next fastest, C. But in a meet like this, where I would say we expect that Grinnell will be pretty dominant points-wise, the coach may have decided to mix it up. I'm not absolutely certain. Looking at the names, that I would know whether they're some of their best relay teams. Right now, we can see that Grinnell's two of Grinnell's relays are almost neck and neck. One's leading a little bit, but yeah, that could be an indication that things have been mixed up a little bit, or they're just deep, and so even if you do have an A relay that's a little bit faster than B, B is still pretty competitive.
Now, is swimming similar to track, where you can only go 3 events? Swim in 3, like in track, you can only run. Technically, you're supposed to only run in 3 events on a varsity night. Is swimming the same way, or due to numbers of people that may not be feasible?
It's been too long since I participated in track to remember certainly the comparison and the rules, and I was young enough that I wouldn't have known the rules. But in swimming, it depends on the meet, usually. Okay. If I can recall the high school rules appropriately, in a meet like this, yeah, you have regulations about how many events you can swim. It's usually 4. Okay. But in something like an invitational, I think even in high school they have the liberty to maybe allow more events, but don't quote me on that. I have not read the high school ruals.
Well, I was trying to think back when we did the one meet last time. There was only one of the teams that was here only had like 7 swimmers. Yeah, it's like, well, how do they even compete in every one, or do they have to set out on some?
Right, exactly. And usually when a team is in that situation, not always, but oftentimes, their swimmers' experience probably isn't deep enough that they can even fill all the races if they were able to. Because something like the 100 fly, there aren't too many swimmers that can finish that if they don't have significant experience. So Grinnell B relay actually finished first there in 2:08.61, so this gives me more confidence that Coach was mixing it up today. And Grinnell's A relay was second in 2:09.34.
And refresh my memory on the scoreboard. So the right is our final time. The next one in is the last split that was So that would be
Correct.
the fourth person split.
Yes.
And if we were looking at it when the third person, it'd always be the one backwards.
Exactly.
Who had the final time.
Exactly.
It's coming back to me.
So, if for anyone that, has followed Grinnell swimming, or I guess even if you hadn't, you might be interested to know that the Grinnell team set a school record in the 200 medley relay last year of 1:55.68, and so you can see we're early in the season, and so we wouldn't expect records to be broken right now in this meet, but you never know. Here we have an East swimmer in the junior varsity 200 free relay. That's going to be 8 lengths. 8 lengths of the pool.
So Tim, is the timer is there a pad in the board when they jump off it, or where is it that the timer actually starts?
That's exactly right. So the starter, the guy in the white and khakis, he pushes a button on the little gray box that's down in the lower right corner of our screen, and that makes that horn sound off, and the clock starts. Then this swimmer dives in, they swim to the other end of the pool, and when they come back, the swimmer will touch a pad, as you were asking about, in the water. You can sort of see like a little black line in the gutter.
Yep.
That's the top of the pad, and just kind of hangs on the wall. So she touched the pad, and her split was 45.96. So it's 25 yards across the pool, one direction, obviously 25 yards back the other direction. So again, 8 lengths adds up to 200. So every time she touches that pad, a computer registers that she had a touch, and it keeps track when she touches for the fourth time. The clock will stop and know that it's her final time.
It's a lot of electronics in water.
Oh, it is. and as someone who has had to take care of that, I can tell you it can be a real bear.
Oh.
And to go through a meet without having a timer problem of any kind is a wonderful thing when you're the person that has to make sure it all operates correctly. But as equipment improves, it seems to get easier. So I expect that we'll go through the meet without having any timing problems or electronics problems.
Which I'm not going to date you, but I know that you have been in both pools. You were in the old pool across the road to the south to this one. Mm-hmm. What were some of the changes that really elevated when they built this new pool versus the old one?
So much. So we are in what would be considered an Olympic-sized pool right now. Where they're racing is short course, 25 yards. When you look at international swimming, generally, you see meters races. And then you have 25 meters, and then you have 50 meters. And that's what we see in the Olympics and pretty much almost all international swimming that you might see on TV. On rare occasions, we see short course meters. So from the bottom of our screen here toward the scoreboard, if you could see the whole pool, that would be 50 meters. And both of these bulkheads can go all the way down to where the scoreboard is, and that would be the 50-meter pool. But we keep it in this 25 yards configuration because that's how we swim in U.S. in high school swimming and NCAA swimming almost exclusively. And plenty of club meets happen that way, and YMCA is traditionally or most often swum in yards as well. But this pool This pool is what is considered all deep in the racing course for the short course for the 25 yards. So lane 10 is 7 feet deep, and as it gradually goes down to lane 1 where it's 9 feet deep. And why that helps is if you're diving into a shallower pool, the force of the water that you dive in with and everybody else is diving in with will refract off the bottom of the pool, and that turbulence will slow you down in the water. So in case you didn't hear, you can see.
Lane 5 from East, Hayward. Lane 7 from Grinnell, Annie Lindbergh. Lane 9 from East, Kate Lockton. And in lane 10 from Grinnell, Zoe Rundall.
So again, another 200 free, 8 lengths, 4 laps. Sometimes you'll hear us say 8 laps, and we all just know that that means lengths, despite it not technically meaning that. So the other benefits of this pool, we have really big gutters. And so in a really intense race with high-level athletes, let's say in the 50 free, all of those athletes are going to finish within, really a tenth and plenty of times tied to the 100th. And not plenty of times, but it happens. And so that whole wave, that whole group of swimmers is going to come into the wall at the same time, and a big wave is going to come in with them. And if those gutters can't accept that water, again, that water will refract off the wall and slow folks down.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Water is obviously significantly more dense than air. And so it has a huge impact in swimming on drag. And then, and sorry if I'm going too long here.
No, I love it.
These are about the best lane lines that you can have at this point. Nothing significant is available out there. They're fairly common, but it's just giving the point that those also limit waves going into the next lane. And so as we see like Grinnell here in lane 7 leading, when she's coming back towards that east swimmer who's in lane 6, her waves could wash into the next lane and slow down 6. And the same is true for that east swimmer coming towards Lindbergh in lane 7. And having these big lane lines really reduces that wave action. Plus, each one of these lanes is 9 feet wide. And that's becoming more common in swimming pool design. But historically, in a lot of the pools that these girls will be swimming in this year, will have lanes that are 6 feet wide. And again, that's less space for those waves to dissipate before they hit the next person or hit the next person when they turn around and come back the other direction. So we just had Grinnell finish in first again with 2:31.95. And Lucy, who did just finish first there, was one of our Grinnell High School state meet competitors last year. They had a really good showing at the state meet this last year. Had some important folks graduate, but have some impressive people coming in as well.
Event 6, Girls Varsity 200-yard IM. Heat 1 of 1, Mr. Starter.
So now we're going to see the individual medley. And you might wonder, hey, wait, this isn't the same order as what we saw in the medley relay. That's because it's hard to dive in and swim backstroke. So they're going to start off with fly, then for a 50, and then backstroke for a 50, then breast, then free.
In lane 3 from East, Street West. In lane 4 from Grinnell, Peyton Zilstra. In lane 6 from East, Berkeley. In lane 7 from Grinnell, Lacey Lindbergh. In lane 9 from East, Carolyn Chapman. And in lane 10 from Grinnell, Macy Wow.
I just realized that somebody might be correcting me. In the last race, there was a Lindbergh. That was not one of our state competitors last year.
Anna?
Yeah. Her sister, Lucy, was one of the state competitors, and the reason I'm realizing that is because Lucy is in lane 7 leading the race right now.
Well, when I went through all of the stuff for last week's meet, I thought that I saw in my notes that was posted online Claire Manette, but I thought Claire Manette graduated last year.
I am pretty confident that you're correct. So,
but it showed that she got third place in a race over the weekend.
I don't know.
So different names could fall in different places.
Well, but I'll still accept my mistake there.
Well, I need to accept my mistake that I when I read that, I thought, I know for soccer, I thought we said that she was a senior, so.
So this is the beauty of the medley, is we see that Lucy was leading the race in the beginning, and now that we're in a different stroke, we see different leaders. And so people who have different strength, and this is the common thing that we see here, is that we might have a strong flyer come out in the start and maybe even backstroke, but breaststroke is so different for different people that it can. This is when this race often changes. We'll see breaststrokers take over this race, and then sometimes we can see that freestylers can bring it back in the race, and we'll see how Peyton Zylstra can hold off Eliza Berglund from East. She's looking strong. I'm pretty sure Peyton is new to the team, but definitely not new to swimming. Her sister had a strong showing last year throughout the season, setting a couple records, more than a couple when you include relays, I'm pretty sure. We'll see if. Looks like.
So got stuck in there, as that was probably supposed to be Peyton. Because I read that when I was going through the highlights. It's like, wait a second. Well, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel or via our website. Again, my name is Dan Walker. I have Tim Hammond with me. We're not saying that we're experts, but Tim's more of an expert than I am on swimming. So,
I'd like to think some people would label me that way.
If you like what you guys and gals are seeing or are watching out there, give us a thumbs up. If you're a Grinnell fan, there will be 3 more of these swim meets out there that you could see. If you're notified, that go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified right when that pops up for you.
So we have another junior varsity race in the 50, and there's some inexperience in this race, as we can see, as the official called the swimmers to step up for the race onto the blocks. They heard that whistle and they dove in to start their race. So they're going to come back. He's going to explain stuff to them. They're going to come back and we'll restart this race. In lane 6, we'll see a competitor in just a different suit than what you'll see everybody else in, and we're starting to see this a bit more frequently in swimming at international meets, and if you're watching like early heats of Olympic races, if you get that opportunity, you'll see people wearing full body suits, and that can be for a number of reasons. But it's the suit can't help them go faster. Back in the 2000s, we started seeing full body suits that would help you go faster. Right now, all competitive swimming, where the suit would give you an advantage, is limited to above your knees. Above your knees, and for girls and women, it can't go past their shoulders, down towards their arms. in pool swimming. In open water swimming, you can have full legs. And we're holding up now, and if you all couldn't hear that, since those athletes started, they're going to give them a chance to rest, and looks like we're going to have the varsity heat step up. And then I'm guessing that JV heat will go on after the varsity swimmers. So here we can see that 50 free sort of effect come in. You can see how they're pretty grouped up as they come into this wall. And a wave is going to follow their bodies into that wall, and it's going to dump into the gutter. And they're going to try, when they come off the wall, they try to go under that big wave, get out there near the flags or past them, and then break out to the surface. And here we have Grinnell finishing first again, Seek finishing first. With a 27-14, which for this time of the season, ought to be pretty happy with that, I expect. Just below what I imagine her time was last weekend, based on the heat sheet.
Girls, junior varsity, 50-yard freestyle.
So here's that junior varsity race again.
Mr. Starter.
We're going to see in lane 10, one of the competitors starting in the water. And based on what she did last time, it looked like she was going to swim backstroke in the race, which is legal. This is freestyle, which generally is you use front crawl, because that's generally the fastest. But as long as you start one stroke, again, I haven't read the high school rules recently enough to be sure, but touch the wall, and as long as you keep the same stroke either from wall to wall or through the whole vent. Again, I don't remember what the high school rules are at this point, but it's totally legal. Do whatever stroke you want of the competitive strokes. So we see Centerville and East in this race. And in the 50, generally, you want to have the fastest turnover of your hands as you can and the fastest turnover of your feet as you can. Don't want to give up on being able to actually pull the water, but generally all out in this race. This race is, we were talking about track a little bit earlier, for anyone that can relate to it. This race is very similar to the, you might say the 100, but as you can see from times, well, in the varsity race, as you can see from times, it might be more similar to the 200 in the amount, in the sort of energy system that you're using to compete in the race. All right, I think we're going to switch to diving. So we'll be a bit of a break before we actually start diving, as the official, I'm pretty sure, will make his way down to the diving well, and the coaches, and right now the divers are just jumping on the boards, warming up.
All right. Well, why don't we take a break and we'll hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. You're watching Grinnell Tiger Swimming on the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network.
This boot of the week, so we're going to get right into it. For the men's side, we have this Tony Lama boot here. This boot has a lot to talk about. It has a very nice leather sole. Next to the ladies' boot, also a Tony Lama boot. Again, a gray color. You got the leather sole. Riding heel, even though it's a fashion boot. Not really any spur shelf at all. But yeah, come check them out. Come see us. And thanks for watching.
Hi there, this is Joey Pauley, third generation owner of Pauley Eyes in Grinnell. Since 1957, we've been serving the flavors you savor. We only use the freshest ingredients for our salads, sandwiches, pasta, and pizza, guaranteed. Plus, don't forget about our award-winning Liquid Gold Ranch and Champagne Cake. Also, keep an eye out on our social media where we release limited time pizza specials like a pickle wrap, sweet corn, and buffalo chicken pizzas, just to name a few. See you soon at Pauley Eyes in downtown Grinnell.
Tomorrow, some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
At Ramsey Weeks, it's the synergy of insurance and real estate that makes our local office vibrant. At Ramsey Weeks, our success depends on yours in buying or selling property, in insuring your car, home, farm, or business. In your time of need, our success depends on yours. Ramsey Weeks Insurance and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, 715 Fifth Avenue, Grinnell.
We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company. Quality that you can trust in every building we construct. Proline is the place to know. We're committed to helping your dreams grow. We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company.
Weldon Drywall is your local drywall professional, serving a 70-mile perimeter around Iowa City. They provide services to commercial builders, general contractors, and residential homeowners. Projects can include commercial build-outs, new construction for multi-family and residential homes, to remodeling projects such as your new addition to basement drywall projects, even down to the simplest 2x2 patch in your wall. Weldon Drywall is here for you. Check out our website at weldon-drywall.com and fill out our contact form for your free estimate today.
Hey, Tiger fans, I'm Pastor Phil inviting you to Tri-Church at Prairie Lakes, where you'll hear that God loves you no matter what. Parents, your kids are going to love learning about God in our safe and fun children's environments, so no matter where you're at with what you believe, you can look for God at Prairie Lakes Church. Go Tigers, and I hope to see you soon.
This is a story about signs. It's also a story about people's experiences. The humble sign. They are everywhere. But signs are more than just a plaque on the wall, an arrow, or letters on a building exterior. Signs help you leave a legacy or start a new chapter in life. All those signs have to start somewhere, and that's where we come in. We're your trusted partner in everything signage and graphics.
Mayflower Community is currently hiring nursing staff. If you are passionate about healthcare and the well-being of older adults, Mayflower Community wants you. Employees enjoy a daily meal, coffee cappuccino and lotus drinks, fitness center, and a family-oriented work culture that is flexible with your needs. You will find competitive pay and benefits. Mayflower Community, a place to call home and a great place to work. For more information, visit our website at mayflowerhomes.com or call 641-236-6151.
Tired of
Welcome back to the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network.
4.5, 5. Lillian Ford, 201A, back guide straight, 1.7.
We'll go ahead and turn on the PA announcer. That way you could kind of hear what he's having to say. He's giving a lot of information out there.
Five and a half, 6, 6.5. Nora Nickel, 201A, back dive straight, 1.7.
Shut us off. Or you want to talk? It's up to you.
So generally we try to be pretty quiet during diving. The divers definitely can't hear me talking. I'm pretty far away from them. So you're going to hear scores now.
7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Cameron Russell, 201A, back dive straight, 1.7.
And who we have judging is one, the official, who's in the white shirt on the left side of the screen with us facing the screen. Then the Grinnell diving coach. And then, actually, I'm pretty confident that is Will Freeman, the Grinnell diving coach's dad.
Caitlin Cat, 201A, back dive straight, 1.7.
Well, I don't think he ever coached diving. He has a lot of experience with diving as he watched Grinnell's coach, Dieter Freeman, come up in the sport from, I don't know, 8th, 9th grade. I don't remember if she started in 8th grade. To be very competitive and go on to international competition.
201A, back dive straight, 1.7.
And we only have Grinnell divers competing in this meet, so that's why we don't see any other judges that coming from the other teams. And not a lot of swim coaches are real confident in judging diving.
6.5.
So if we can have people who are confident, that's
moving on to the second round of diving. Ivy Whitaker, 202B, back somersault pike, 1.6.
I assume we're going to go through 6 rounds of diving here. So we're starting the second round of Grinnell's varsity and junior varsity divers going through the lineup.
So they don't use the scoreboard then?
Right. Yep. Not that it's impossible, but back in the meet management room, which are those windows off to the right in the screen, it takes a bit of effort to switch over and run a diving meet. Diving meet is a bit more
1.7.
Sorry to be speaking over the dive there. A bit more complicated than running a swim meet, honestly.
Five and a half, 4.5, 6. Nora Nickel, 203B, back 1.5 somersault pike, 2.3.
So what you're hearing the announcer read are the dive numbers and then the degree of difficulty. And what's going to happen is when the judges score that, they're going to average that score and then multiply it by the degree of difficulty. Then they add up all the scores from the round, and then that's how they compare divers to divers. And different meets lead to slightly different scoring, but that's the gist of it for here.
6, 5.5,
It's just an observation, Tim. I noticed that
Cameron Russell,
swimming lanes,
203B, back
you could cut the water with a knife, but over there on the diving, looks like they got a couple streams of water that's making it rippled. Does that have something to do with the diving that's special?
Yep, exactly. So you can see the streams of water spraying out under the 3-meter boards, which are the taller ones. We're going to only, in high school in Iowa, do 1-meter diving, and there are actually little sprayers spraying out under those boards as well. They're just not as robust. And the reason that that's the case, you can see, again, like you said, you can see the ripples. When our divers are up in the air and they're flipping and or twisting, which we haven't seen a lot of twisting yet in this diving, but they want to be able to see the difference between the ceiling, the walls, and the water. And when that water is just super flat, the reflections and the lack of refraction of light in different directions reduces your ability to spot the water.
203C,
so there's a little bit of splashing there. Not every pool will you see that in. I've been in places where we have, somebody sitting on the edge of the pool just kicking their feet to make sure that there's ripples in the water. So you'll hear the dive number, then you'll hear the dive description. The dive number
3.5, 4.5
represents what that description is.
Diving. Ivy Whitaker, 5221D, back somersault half twist free, 1.7.
Because that dive started with a 5, she will be twisting as you heard that dive description. So a lot of people often look for like no splash, and one reason that is
5.5, 4, 5.
Is that
Lillian 4.
That's an indication that she entered the water straight up and down. Didn't over-rotate, didn't have, you know, an appendage sticking out somewhere. That was an inward pike.
Seven and a half. 7.5.
Watch the Olympians do that. That always scares me.
Nora
It just looks
Nickel.
like they're going to hit their head right on the corner of that board.
Double somersault pike. 2.3.
It is rare, but it can happen. That's pretty nice, but you saw that splat, the water lean out as she entered. That's an indication that she
8,
over-rotated just
7,
a little bit.
6.5. Cameron Russell, 303B, reverse 1.5 somersault pike, 2.4.
Saw her move the fulcrum, that circle on the board. That allows the board to bend more since she moved it backwards.
Eight, 7, 7.5.
That was pretty smooth.
Cora Kellogg, 103B, forward 1.5 somersault pike, 1.7. Five and a half, 6. Moving on to the 4th round of diving. Ivy Whitaker, 104.01C, inward dive tuck, 1.4.
So if you don't know it, we are watching a couple of the best divers in the state. So Cameron, who just scored some 8s there, she, if I'm correct, she was first in state last year.
Six and a half, 5. Lillian Ford, 402C, inward somersault tuck, 1.6.
I know there's high hopes for some of these other girls who are new to the team. Aubrey and Cora.
6.5, 6.5.
In diving,
Nora Nickel, 303C,
get a lot of points when other teams don't have it.
1.5 somersault tuck, 2.1.
So any of these girls could score some points for the team.
Six, 5, 7. Cameron Russell, 5233D, back 1.5 somersault with 1.5 twists, free, 2.5.
So again, here we're seeing one of the best divers in the state. And she showed it. And some sharp
pretty
twisting.
crisp.
Right.
7.5, 7. Cora Kellogg, 104C, forward double somersault tuck, 2.2.
And I think Cora is a beginning diver on the team, and she had a tight tuck there. She went a little far away from the board.
6.5, 5.5.
Moving on to the 5th round of diving.
Ivy Whitaker, 101B, forward dive pike, 1.3.
Got a change of announcer there real quick. While front dives don't have high DD, I would argue, and some others would agree, that they can be some of the more difficult dives.
Ford, 103C, forward 1.5 somersault tuck, 1.6.
So never in high school they go beyond the low board.
Not in Iowa.
Not in Iowa.
Club diving, which you could do as a young, very young person, or high school and afterwards. Yeah, they'll have 3 meter and they'll even do tower for someone.
Nora Nickel, 403C, inward 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2.
So you heard 403C, and then he described inward, so that 4 represents the inward. And the C represents the tuck.
I'm going to roll our camera back a little bit more just because this is a question for me. I noticed, like, the gal right now, she's running her foot over a wheel on the board. What's that doing?
So I was saying earlier that's called the fulcrum. And go ahead and leave it back over there if you can. Yeah, there you go. And because that'll allow us to see their lineups as well. So that fulcrum, if she moves it closer to the water, the board will bend less. I mean, it's a fulcrum like we talk about in math. If you move the fulcrum further away, as this diver is, that will allow the board to bend more. And depending on how you use the board, if you bend the board more, it's going to have more time to press you back up into the air, which could launch you higher. If you put it further forward, the board is going to be stiffer, bend less. If you're a heavy diver, like one might say that I am, you put it further forward, and I'll still be able to push it down pretty hard, and with its stiffness, it will shoot me up pretty well.
We move into the 6th and final round of diving.
The risk with putting it further back,
forward 1.5 somersault tuck, 1.6,
is having it bend more. And as it bends down, if you don't ride it properly, it can shoot you out away from the board. And you'll see that with a lot of people who are at a recreational pool and the fulcrum is far back. They'll launch away from the board instead of going straight up.
Takes it away from the crispness of how they want to enter.
Potentially, yeah.
Forward somersault with a half twist, free, 1.7. Four and a half. Nora Nickel, 52-31D, back 1.5 somersault with a half twist free, 2.1.
So here's another one of the best divers in the state. And that was sharp. Love to see a bit more height off the board, probably.
7.5, 7, 6.5. Cameron Russell, 105C, forward 2.5 somersault tuck, 2.4.
I assume there is an 8, 9, 10 available for the great scores.
Yep.
Or great dives.
So I bet we'll see
pretty
an 8.
impressive
we'll
there.
See an 8 here, I bet.
7.5, 7, 8.5.
There we go.
Cora Kellogg, 403C, inward 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2.
I don't know where our announcer, he must have binoculars because I cannot even see.
He is right behind the judges. I just happen to know his voice well and can pick him out.
Four and a half, 4, 4.5.
All right, I think that.
And that concludes our diving event for the evening. Let's hear it for our divers. We will take a 10-minute break. Swimmers, the pool is open.
So for some of those serious diving fans out there, if they're watching from afar, I should probably apologize because there were times where I was talking over the dive numbers, the DD, and the scores. But we're trying to be here because we know not everybody are experts in how these two sports, especially diving, play out. And we want people to be able to engage in them. And so, for future webcasts, I'll try not to talk over all of that stuff so much.
We'll let the announcer do his.
Right.
But I will say one thing that at least in my headset, it seems like when we turn 100% to the PA, I get a lot of static. Do you hear that too?
I am hearing it.
Maybe
a little
not.
bit. Yep.
So I tried to back him off a little bit, but they're going to take a 10-minute break on the pool. Before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors because without them, we would not be doing this tonight. Poly Ice Pizza, Grinnell Mutual, Ramsey Weeks Insurance, and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, Proline Building Company, Weldon Drywall, Latitude Signage and Design, Mayflower Community Homes, Mahaska Communications, Prairie Lakes Church, Wagon Wheels West, and S&S Electric, Unity Point, Grinnell Hospital, Family Dentistry, and Grinnell State Bank. Also a shout out to Grinnell Firestone. It's up in there also. And, I got to give a shout out to Brent Nickel because even though we don't have any per se periods that we go by, but we are going to take a break and we're going to name that break for Brent Nickel State Farm as we go into the next section. So thank you for joining us on this first section. We're going to take a commercial break, hear a little bit more from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. You're watching Grinnell Tiger Swimming on the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network.
Bad internet and bad service? Switch to MCG and experience the benefits of better internet. We employ a local team that answers...
Oh, the scores are being listed up there, and it'll say what event they've been completed through.
Tired of bad internet and bad service? Switch to MCG and experience the benefits of better internet. We employ a local team that answers the phone when you call. We provide same-day support and symmetrical upload and download. We offer benefits like free install, free router, and no introductory pricing. We offer internet that works when you need it. No data caps, no fine print, and absolutely no hidden fees. Sign up with MCG today and experience the benefits of better internet service.
The Dairy Barn, located at 1810 6th Avenue in Grinnell. Stop by before or after the big ball game to pick up your favorite ice cream or flavor of the day yogurt. They also have a full line of delicious foods, including tenderloins, pulled pork sandwiches, popular chicken wraps, and much, much more. Don't have time to stop at the barn? Catch them on the move at some of the favorite events around Grinnell, or give us a call and try out our catering. Don't forget to check out www.dairybarngrinnell.com to order online or the Chow Now app. Remember, I scream, you scream, we all scream for Dairy Barn.
Grinnell Booster Club supports all Tiger athletics from the middle school all the way up to the high school through fundraising, membership, drives, concession stand revenues at all the home events. There are many different ways you can get involved. One, through membership levels from a single, a family, even into the business. There are many attractive levels that you can be a part of this wonderful club. Your membership funds help support uniforms, warm-ups, summer speed camps, baseball and softball batting cages, and the list goes on. You want to be a part of a great group, join the Grinnell Booster Club today.
Hey guys, pulling in at Wagon Wheels West in Grinnell in today's boot of the week. So we're going to get right into it. For the men's side, we have this Tony Lama boot here. This boot has a lot to talk about. It has a very nice leather sole. Next is our ladies' boot, also a Tony Lama boot. Again, a gray color. You got the leather sole, riding heel, even though it's a fashion boot. Not really any spur shelf at all. But yeah, come check them out, come see us, and thanks for watching.
Hi there, this is Joey Pollyi, third generation owner of Pollyi's in Grinnell. Since 1957, we've been serving the flavors you savor. We only use the freshest ingredients for our salads, sandwiches, pasta, and pizza, guaranteed. Plus, don't forget about our award-winning Liquid Gold Ranch and Champagne Cake. Also, keep an eye out on our social media where we release limited time pizza specials like a pickle wrap, sweet corn, and buffalo chicken pizzas, just to name a few. See you soon at Pollyi's in downtown Grinnell.
Tomorrow, some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready. like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
At Ramsey Weeks, it's the synergy of insurance and real estate that makes our local office vibrant. At Ramsey Weeks, our success depends on yours. In buying or selling property, in insuring your car, home, farm, or business. In your time of need, our success depends on yours. Ramsey Weeks Insurance and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, 715 5th Avenue, Grinnell.
We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company. Quality that you can trust in every building we construct. Proline is the place to know. We're committed to helping your dreams grow. We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company.
Weldon Drywall is your local drywall professional, serving a 70-mile perimeter around Iowa City. They provide services to commercial builders, general contractors, and residential homeowners. Projects can include commercial build-outs, new construction for multi-family and residential homes, to remodeling projects such as your new addition to basement drywall projects, even down to the simplest 2x2 patch in your wall. Weldon Drywall is here for you. Check out our website at weldon-drywall.com and fill out our contact form for your free estimate today.
Hey, Tiger fans, I'm Pastor Phil inviting you to Tri Church at Prairie Lakes, where you'll hear that God loves you no matter what. Parents, your kids are going to love learning about God in our safe and fun children's environments, so no matter where you're at with what you believe, you can look for God at Prairie Lakes Church. Go Tigers, and I hope to see you soon.
This is a story about signs. It's also a story about people's experiences. The humble sign. They are everywhere. But signs are more than just a plaque on the wall, an arrow, or letters on a building exterior. Signs help you leave a legacy or start a new chapter in life. All those signs have to start somewhere, and that's where we come in. We're your trusted partner in everything signage and graphics.
Mayflower Community is currently hiring nursing staff. If you are passionate about healthcare and the well-being of older adults, Mayflower Community wants you. Employees enjoy a daily meal, coffee cappuccino and lotus drinks, fitness center.
Swimmers, please clear the pool.
Is flexible with
If I could have your
You will
attention,
find
we have a
comfort
new
and
pool
benefits.
in school
Mayflower
record in
Community,
diving.
a place to call home and a great
Cameron
place to
Russell
work.
finished
For more
with a
information,
total
visit our
of
website,
312.25. Congratulations, Cameron.
6155.
Tired of bad internet and bad service? Switch to MCG and experience the benefits of better internet. We employ a local team that answers the phone when you call. We provide same-day support with
please
a
report
Metro app
supplies.
or download.
Event
We
12,
offer
please
benefits
report
like free
supplies.
install, free router, and no introductory pricing. We offer internet that works when you need it. No data caps, no
Event
Wi-Fi,
12,
and
girls,
absolutely no
varsity,
hidden fees.
100-yard butterfly.
Sign up with MCG today and
Mr.
experience the
Starter.
benefits of better internet service.
The Dairy Barn, located at
So if you didn't just get that note, Cameron Russell just set a new school record for 6 dives. And what you just saw was the official seeing somebody move on the blocks, and so he asked them to stand up and she fell in, so she should be all good to step right back up on the blocks. No disqualifications there. So this is one of the events where we're not going to see any junior varsity. You can see that we aren't even filling the lanes with varsity swimmers.
Stroop West. Lane 4 from Grinnell, Caitlin Seek. Lane 6 from East, Addison Stansel. Lane 7 from Grinnell, Kylie Zilstra. And lane 9 from East, Mariana Montez.
So we only have Grinnell in East in this race, and you heard me earlier, I think, say that this is one of the events where if you don't have some experience in the sport and in swimming, it's pretty difficult to finish the 100 fly. We can see the young lady in lane 9. She's given it her all. I bet she'll do it, but you can see that it's difficult. And so we can imagine, you can understand in lane 7, Kylie Zelstra leading the race. You can see that she's right on the surface of the water. Every single stroke, she's staying low to the water, not bringing her head up high, not bringing her arms up high, and pushing her hips to the surface with every stroke. And there she's finished 4 lengths in 107.70, which if her best time this year is 111.25 possibly based on the heat sheet, big drop for her. Congratulations. Caitlin Seek, 114.92. Again, if heat sheet indicates her best time thus far, that's about a half-second drop as well.
Which I think this is the 4th meet or 3rd meet? Pull my notes up
I'm not
here.
absolutely certain. I'm not. So I tried to look up the power index, or however they're referring to it these days, for the state, and I'm not seeing times for them in the 100 fly. So maybe those aren't their best times for this year, or they just hadn't been entered yet. So regardless, good swims, I think. As we watch this young lady finish in lane 9, she does technically have to keep her feet together, and we are seeing a bit of flutter kick. Or at least that's what I'm perceiving from up here. And the other thing that can stand out in fly when one is really struggling, getting tired, is her hands do have to recover over the water. And so as long as they break the surface at some point, she'll be good to go, and they have to go at the same time. She has to touch with 2 hands on every wall. She should be good. We'll see what the official has to say about that flutter kick. One good piece of Iowa swimming trivia is that the butterfly was invented at the University of Iowa.
Really?
They have a very nice pool there as well. Not significantly nicer than this one, but they do have a separate diving well and a bit more seating for their stands. But the reason I'm bringing that up about the design of their pool is that they have a bust of an early fly swimmer
Event 13,
in their pool.
Girls Junior Varsity 100-yard freestyle. Mr. Starter.
So again, you heard the freestyle. That means they can swim any of the competitive strokes, and but we will almost certainly only see the front crawl for 4 lengths. We're only going to see East and Centerville in this race for Junior Varsity. So that whistle calls the swimmers to step up on the block. You can see the swimmer starting in lane 4 didn't step up on the block, so I should say that whistle calls you to your starting position. And it's totally legal for her to just start from the wall. And I'm pretty sure even in high school swimming, you can start from in the water, I'm pretty sure.
So where, like when they, obviously if they're in the water, they can have their hand on that pad, but when they're standing beside the board, how does it know when they're going in the water then?
Well, so the starter's button starts the race. So
okay, so when he says go, everyone's clock starts.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily when they leave the board.
Correct.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, if the person was in the water, yeah, no, yep, it's just the whole thing starts, and then there's actually a delay, depending on how you set the computer. I mean, generally you'd put it at like 9, 15, maybe even 18 seconds. But you know, with the most elite swimmers in the world, yeah, you'd have to set it at 15 seconds at the most, you know, to be comfortable. No, not that anyone's like going to actually beat that back to the wall, but can't let it go too long because they'd be back there and touch it before the computer was ready for them. Though, you know, there are blocks, and we do have them here at Grinnell still, I'm pretty sure, that would calculate from the time the starter hit their button, the starter button, until the person leaves the block. And that would give you some information about how fast you're reacting off the block. And you could also use those things to judge how quickly a relay swimmer is taking off from the block after the former person touched the touchpad in the water.
Event 14, Varsity Girls 100-yard freestyle.
All right, here's the
Mr.
Varsity.
Starter.
So we have East Centerville and GHS, Grinnell High School, in this race. You can tell Grinnell's mixed things up a little bit.
In lane 2 from Centerville.
You can see lane 7,
in lane 3 from
Izzy Kinkle take off to a leading start. Very powerful athlete, flipping, hitting the wall. You can see she's breaking out right at those flags, or maybe even slightly past them, getting under that wall of water that's coming in with her.
In lane 7 from Grinnell, Isabel Kinkle. In lane 8 from Centerville, Juliana
See
Sturk.
Lindbergh showing up really well, like we did earlier in the meet as well.
Valerie Robles. And in lane 10 from Grinnell, Amelia Wolkin.
So 2 former returning state competitors leading this race. That being Izzy and Lucy. Comes in at 57.40. And based on the power index times, just likely her best time of the season. Much like the 50, high turnover, but you got to be able to hold it for 4 lengths.
Looks like her season best before this was 57.54. That's what you have?
I think so. Yep.
Event 16, Varsity Girls 500-yard freestyle, Mr. Starter.
All right, another one where we're not going to see the JV. So, you know, 200 IM, 100 fly, 500 in Iowa high school swimming. These tend to be your most difficult events. We're going to go 20 lengths.
Oh, he's going. Please hold. Please hold.
The announcer's calling for us to take a second between races. I'm guessing there's probably something with timing that they're making sure that everything is functioning properly. Sometimes there's something on the computer that you need to make sure you've transferred results or something like that.
Event 16, Girls Varsity 500-yard freestyle, Mr. Starter.
Because we only have Grinnell and East in this event, we can see some lanes open. I know that hasn't happened in every event, but just sometimes how you see the event, what the computer does and when you've done it. So when we saw people dive in, this doesn't tend to be an event where like you're as obsessive about power and things like that. That being said, you know, if you watch the most elite swimmers, of course they're worried about strength and being able to go fast, but they, you know, they're going to do the event in 4 minutes, whereas in this event tonight, we're probably going to see somebody, you know, go a bit over 5 minutes at the fastest. But as we watch them come off the walls here, we'll have a bit more opportunity with a bit less white water, allowing us to see streamlines and things like that. And we'll get multiple looks. And So really what we want to see in streamline, and what I mean by streamline is when you are coming off your start or pushing off the wall, you want to have your body as tight as possible in the sense of like producing as little frontal drag as possible. So one hand on top of the other over your head, squeezing your head tight in some fashion, head down, looking at the bottom of the pool. All that, it's like you're inside of one thin tube as much as possible and getting as far off the wall as possible. Every bit of distance you can come off that wall means the fewer strokes you have to take across the pool. Also means the less air you get. So we gotta balance those two things out. Takes air for us to produce energy, and so in swimming, sometimes you can't breathe when your face is in the water. Let's see here. Zylstra is leading in lane 7 from Grinnell. Looks like she just went a 34, and if Kylie wants to do her season best, I'm pretty sure we're going to want to see at least 34s and probably preferably 33s. And that was a 35. I'm guessing we'll see down here at the far end of the pool a bit of card shaking or some sort of signal. So these cards are going in the water and they're telling her how many laps they've done. You can see a little bit of card shaking. That tends to be the universal sign in swimming that you should go faster, give more effort. You can sometimes see some other signals of the cards swaying back and forth or being upside down or something like that. But the most common one is just shaking them. So we've got sisters in the water, and I'm pretty certain that the elder is holding her own in this race. But I think we should acknowledge that, if I'm not mistaken, Kylie is also a cross-country runner.
I believe so, yes.
And I don't know what her training regimen is right now, but I think we can all be impressed that even if she doesn't go a best time tonight, which is not what should necessarily be happening during this time of the season anyway, that with her competitions and training in cross-country and swimming, she is deserved her due respect.
And our cross-country team is doing very well for the girls. I believe they won the home meet here the other night at Orange Park. So
that's good for them. I'm pretty confident I can share, based on my last knowledge, that Kylie and maybe other family members make good showings in triathlon as well. I think even on the national level. So we can start, if you can see the numbers in the webcast, we can see that Kylie is getting close to, she's coming down to turn on 17, and you can see some other people are only on 13. She's lapped them, and after she touches at the near end on the touchpad at this turn, those cards will be flipped to orange or red, you might describe it as. And that's an indication to her that she is on her last lap, as is that bell ringing. So the official is ringing the bell for Kylie, the leader, indicating that that is her last lap, her last turn.
So Kylie only, her last 5K ran, she did a 22:10. So,
and I think they only have 2 girls on the team this year. And
Kylie and Grace.
That's some awesome dedication for those 2 girls to be out there competing at a high level. And here she comes into the finish with a 5:41. Plenty of respect for 5:41. ideally, you know, she finished with a 34. She went up into some 35s. You know, it's pretty standard that you want to kind of see after the first and second 50 that your splits are right around the same, within, you know, tenths or hundreds with every turn. But again, she is early in her season. This is a meet that's early in the season. It's not some place where I expect the coach is expecting top times for the season. But you will also see that at times because, you know, people are progressing in their body development or in their experience in the sport or their technique. And so sometimes early in the season we can see big jumps. But I'm pretty sure, based on the times that I could find, that I think that might be Kylie's first 500 of the season. So good for her. So these meets right now, you know, aren't the meets where they're, you know, qualifying for state or anything. So it's a time for coach to see where the swimmers are at this point in the season and figure out what kind of training needs to continue. Oh, we got a race at the end. People are cheering. We got lane 10 trying to do her best as she comes into the finish.
I think they have some of the cards are not correct over here. They're trying to correct them on what their cards should say down at this end. There is no 7, she said.
that can't happen. Sometimes they're broken. So here's East is our last finisher in lane 9, and you know, she's going on headed towards over 9 minutes of swimming, and so, you know, we can recognize, even if she's not the fastest athlete in this race, she's having to give a good effort swimming 9-10 minutes straight. Regina Garcia Fuentes.
Well, I would have dived by now, Tim.
People are often shocked. I remember, I don't know, I'm trying to think, probably when I was a junior in high school, we had a number of football players decide that they were going to swim their senior year. They hadn't swam. Some of them we had on the swim team at Grinnell High School, where I did my high school swimming. We did have some football players that swam as well, but some new ones decided they were going to swim. And first day of practice, they were pretty shocked.
I bet.
And you know, we're very kind at the end of the season. I remember the words that they had to share at the end of the season about what they gained from that one season of swimming.
Event 17, Girls Junior Varsity 200-yard freestyle relay.
So we're at the second
Mr. Starter.
relay of high school swimming. So we saw the 200 medley at the beginning of the meet, and now we're at the 200 freestyle relay. So 4 swimmers, each doing a 50 freestyle. We have only East in this race. Like I said, here we have a swimmer in lane 6 who Kind of looked like she was starting from the side, which more or less she was, but her feet were in the water, which, like I said, you can start from in the water.
6 from Des Moines East.
And the reason that people do that is, if they're early in their experience with swimming, they may not be confident about diving in the water. So we, like you've seen tonight, it's not very common, but it's a really inclusive sport.
If you have strong legs, that's definitely a little advantage, though, of diving.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Starting on the
it's
wall.
A huge advantage. Being able to, and you're going through the air, and so that's less water resistance that you're going through. And you have gravity that helps you shoot down into the pool, which then, when you use it properly, allows you to accelerate forward. You'll even see some of these folks who are in junior varsity races for the most part. Some of them will even touch the wall at the far end instead of doing a flip turn. So technically in swimming, when you're swimming freestyle and backstroke, when you're going backstroke to backstroke at a wall, you can, before touching the wall, you can actually push your head down into the water and flip over and touch with your feet and then start going the other direction. But some athletes, without that the confidence of doing that, they'll just touch with their hand and then turn. I think we saw in lane 3 somebody that's still learning in the last relay member who actually touched with their hand, then did a flip turn, and then kept going. Which again, they're making progress, getting big hugs at the end of their race. That's good. Something else that we'll see amongst some of the more experienced swimmers probably is when they come off the start or off the wall, they will in freestyle, butterfly, and then sort of in breaststroke, will do one dolphin kick. And what we mean by that is both feet kick together at the same time. There tends to be a lot of power in that kick, and that's one dolphin kick in breaststroke. In butterfly and freestyle, you could take as many dolphin kicks as you want, actually, as long as you surface before your head passes that 15-meter mark, which is if you're going from the wall, the second yellow marker in the pool.
Now, you mentioned something earlier about swim attire, so I noticed that the young lady that's swimming now, she's sleeved all the way down to her wrist and full body all the way down to her ankles.
Yeah, and I mean, the most common reason that we're seeing that these days is for some sort of religious obligation.
Okay.
Covering the body. And so different rules influence different things. Somebody might have to get an exemption to allow to have those long things. It definitely, in the sort of suit that she's wearing, definitely is not an advantage. Are there suits out there that exist that would make it an advantage? Absolutely. All right, here's the varsity. Things are going to be a little bit faster here. So seeing some of those dolphin kicks, breaking out, and a high turnover, because again, we're seeing 50 freestyles here.
Lane 4, Grinnell.
And now when they turn, they're going to try and go under that wave of water out towards the flags or further. We can see East right now is giving Grinnell a run. Lane 4 is Grinnell, lane 6 is East.
Lindbergh, Simpson Ham.
Fast exchanges, and on the exchange, Grinnell led, but once they broke out, East was right there. Now we see lane 7, Grinnell, pulling out ahead. And if I have the names correct on the heat sheet, that's Lindbergh in lane 7, going up against Addison Stansel in lane 6 at East. Very close race here. even on the exchange, and we see them enter the water at the same time, but Grinnell breaks out ahead. That shows that he's got strong legs and or a really tight streamline with good dolphin kicks coming off the wall. Good breakout. Generally in the 50, we want to see you break out, no breath. Grinnell's taking some breaths there, but we're getting deep into the meat, and so Ruby may feel the need to get some breath. Lane 7, Grinnell is handily out in front, well over a body length, and that is the point of relays. Who has the depth of 4 swimmers that can do this sort of event, the 50 free, better than the other team? And you can see bringing it home, Caitlin Seek really out swimming with a 27.1, and East coming in with a split of 30.4. And that's where we see it. Great effort, girls. And I mean, look at Grinnell's B relay. Our last split coming in at 28.5. You know, that's right in there with everybody that was swimming on the A relay, which I'm not sure if it's that'd be Macy Log, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
So it looks like they had a season best of 150.93.
That's fantastic.
So tonight they did 155.03, right?
And again, last year, school record of 143. So you can see how, they lost some fantastic swimmers, but we're early in the season.
Right.
And so, that's that kind of drop, is it possible? Sure. But when we do the math, we're talking about 8 seconds. That's 2 seconds per 50 per swimmer. That's a lot.
All right, we're going to take another break. Here's a word from our sponsors. You're watching Grinnell Tiger Swimming on the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network.
1810 6th Avenue in Grinnell. Stop by before or after the big ball game to pick up your favorite ice cream or flavor of the day yogurt. They also have a full line of delicious foods, including tenderloins, pulled pork sandwiches, popular chicken wraps, and much, much more. Don't have time to stop at the barn? Catch them on the move at some of the favorite events around Grinnell, or give us a call and try out our catering. And don't forget to check out www.dairybarngrinnell.com to order online or the Chow Now app. Remember, I scream, you scream, we all scream for Dairy Barn.
Grinnell Booster Club supports all Tiger athletics from the middle school all the way up to the high school through fundraising, membership drives, concession stand revenues at all the home events. There are many different ways you can get involved. One, through membership levels from a single, a family, even into the business. There are many attractive levels that you can be a part of this wonderful club. Your membership funds help support uniforms, warm-ups, summer speed camps, baseball and softball batting cages, and the list goes on. You want to be a part of a great group? Join the Grinnell Booster Club today.
Hey guys, corner at Wagner Wheels West in Grinnell, and today's boot of the week. So we're going to get right into it. For the men's side, we have this Tony Lama boot here. This boot has a lot to talk about. It has a very nice leather sole. Next is our ladies' boot, also Tony Lama boot. Again, a gray color. You got the leather sole, riding heel, even though it's a fashion boot. Not really any spur shelf at all. But yeah, come check them out, come see us, and thanks for watching.
Hi there, this is Joey Pollyi, third generation owner of Pollyi's in Grinnell. Since 1957, we've been serving the flavors you savor. We only use the freshest ingredients for our salads, sandwiches, pasta, and pizza, guaranteed. Plus, don't forget about our award-winning Liquid Gold Ranch and Champagne Cake. Also, keep an eye out on our social media where we release limited time pizza specials like a pickle wrap, sweet corn, and buffalo chicken pizzas, just to name a few. See you soon at Pollyi's in downtown Grinnell.
Tomorrow, some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
Ramsey Weeks, it's the synergy of insurance and real estate that makes our local office vibrant. At Ramsey Weeks, our success depends on yours. In buying or or selling property, in insuring your car, home, farm, or business. In your time of need, our success depends on yours. Ramsey Weeks Insurance and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, 715 Fifth Avenue, Grinnell.
We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company. Quality that you can trust in every building we construct. Proline is the place to know. We're committed to helping your dreams grow. We're helping build your dreams at the Proline Building Company.
Weldon Drywall is your local drywall professional, serving a 70-mile perimeter around Iowa City. They provide services to commercial builders, general contractors, and residential homeowners. Projects can include commercial build-outs, new construction for multi-family and residential homes, to remodeling projects such as your new addition to basement drywall projects, even down to the simplest 2x2 patch in your wall. Weldon Drywall is here for you. Check out our website at weldon-drywall.com and fill out our contact form for your free estimate today.
Hey, Tiger fans, I'm Pastor Phil inviting you to Tri-Church at Prairie Lakes, where you'll hear that God loves you no matter what. Parents, your kids are going to love learning about God in our safe and fun children's environments, so no matter where you're at with what you believe, you can look for God at Prairie Lakes Church. Go Tigers, and I hope to see you soon.
This is a story about signs. It's also a story about people's experiences. The humble sign. They are everywhere. But signs are more than just a plaque on the wall, an arrow, or letters on a building exterior. Signs help you leave a legacy or start a new chapter in life.
So here we are with junior varsity, 100 backstroke. We only have east in this event. So the official right now is telling the girl in lane 9 that she can't have her toes over the edge.
In lane 3 from east, Brooklyn Smith. In lane 6 from east, Trudy Hutchins. And in lane 9 from east, Denise Navarrete.
So when you're starting in backstroke, you're obviously in the water. Your feet cannot be over the edge. They have to be just up against the wall. However, if you look closely at the starting blocks, you can see a red strip right on the top of the pool deck. That's called a wedge. And I'm guessing that we will see in the varsity race some of the girls, if not all of them, pull that down into the water, and they will put their feet on that, because when you're pushing your feet into a flat wall, even with that touchpad in there, which is kind of grippy, your feet can slide down the wall, and you just lose grip. And that doesn't allow for a great start. But with that backstroke wedge down there, it has very grippy surface on it, and it allows something sticking out away from the wall, so you can really press into that and drive up and out really well. Arch into the water, nice cleans, dive into the water backwards. Almost like you're coming off the starting block. If anybody any old swimmers are listening in, you might remember the days. For a very few years, we could stand in the gutter and dive backwards into the water. But I think that might have been a little dangerous, so they decided to stop doing that. Then we had to go back to putting our feet on that flat wall, and then finally somebody said, hey, how about we put a wedge in the water for them? And in lane 6, the person that won this heat, we saw her kind of like backstroke into the wall and maybe hit her arms on the wall and stuff. And that's just a matter of a bit of inexperience, not
Event
knowing
20,
her
girls
arm count
varsity
or stroke
100-yard
count
backstroke.
from the flags to the
Mr.
finish
Starter.
or across the pool. So I doubt we'll see that in this race, or not as common in this race. These girls probably have a bit more experience with backstroke. So you see him pulling that wedge down in there. Every wedge system's a little bit different, so you can see some of them struggling to get it down into the right spot. And really, you see Grinnell with a bit of an advantage here. This is their home pool. They've used those things before right here in our pool. And, you know, this is a race of Grinnell and East, and not a single East swimmer used it. Just not, you know, not confident, not comfortable being certain about how to use it probably, where all the Grinnell girls did. But you can see that despite the benefit that Grinnell might get from that wedge, East is leading this event.
Lane 6, Berglund. Lane 7, Wolken. Lane 9.
I know Grinnell at this point is leading pretty handily in the points, and so despite East probably going to go at least 1-2 in this event, if not 1-2-3, Grinnell's going to be okay points-wise, I'm pretty sure. Though we can see in lane 10, Grinnell pulling back up, catching back up, and we might see a race here at the end. We can see East in lane 6 leading the race. Lane 3, East is right there, but Grinnell's lane 10 is going to give it her all. I'm sure they all are, but Macy Log is going to try and pull ahead of lane 9, and I don't know if she's going to be able to do it. She's very close. Very close. There you go, East. A strong showing as we come towards the end of the meet. That is the 100 backstroke. Now we're going to do the 100 breaststroke. Then we'll have the 400 free relay, the last of the 3 relays, and the wrap up to the meet. So we're going to go into the JV 100 breaststroke, where again we only have
Event 21, girls junior varsity 100-yard breaststroke. Mr. Starter.
I'm sure what Grinnell's going to be looking for in that event from those girls. I know we have some other strong backstroke swimmers on Grinnell's team to continue to look to keep their rotation strong and really get a good early catch. Use all their forearms to pull that water as they take each backstroke. You heard me talking about a backstroke wedge. You also see on the starting blocks a wedge sticking up off the block. That is also often referred to
In
as
lane
a wedge.
3 from Des Moines East, Aaron Anderson.
Colloquial speak.
And in lane 6,
Technically,
from
it's
Des
called
Moines
other
East,
things by the companies that
Carolyn
build them, but
Chapman.
that helps you drive off the block, much like we see the blocks in track and field. So here we have breaststroke. Earlier in butterfly, you heard me talking about how you had to have a special kick pattern and a special arm pattern. And in breaststroke, same thing. Your feet have to kick at the same time. Your hands have to move at the same time. You have to touch with 2 hands on every wall. In breaststroke, you will see them come off the wall when they turn, and they are allowed to take 1 stroke where their hands go from all the way out in front of their head all the way down past their shoulders, as far back as they can reach. We didn't see the swimmer in lane 6 do it. I'm guessing that's just, inexperience with the stroke. She didn't do anything illegal. She just pushed off and started swimming breaststroke. But that 1 strong, powerful pull underwater during your underwater breakout can really rocket you across the pool. And we will see that in the varsity race, no doubt. And we'll see that comparison about how helpful that can be. You also heard me talking about earlier in the meet that when you push off the wall in breaststroke, you're allowed to take 1 dolphin kick. We're not seeing that here either. But they'll be in streamline underwater, take that dolphin kick, be out towards the flags probably, if not past them by that point. Then they'll take 1 strong pull down, which will rocket them out close to that first yellow marker off the wall, if not past it, and plenty of elite breaststrokers will go well out there into the pool with each pull out, and then they'll pop up and start swimming breaststroke. Lane 6, very excited, Chapman, about her time.
Now, I just noticed that the official seems to really be watching close. If you have this thing filled up like the next one, we're going to have, what, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, we're going to have 8 people swimming. That's 8 girls. That's a little bit harder to go back and forth and be particular on who's doing what.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you think that, or the varsity is, they know what they're doing, so you have a little bit more forgiveness. I don't want to say forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
Assumption that they're doing it correctly.
Yeah, but he's not going to not look at them. He's going to, and you know, this is a very experienced official. I've known him for a very long time. He officiates so much, and we need to give our due respect to officials. I'm especially going to speak about swimming officials. I mean, I know this guy is working meets because of how often I see him through the year. This guy's working meets every month through the summer. Masters, club, YMCA too, I think. High school. I mean, he's really dedicated to the sport. And so you'll see him rush down here, and he's going to watch right at the wall for everybody to make sure that they have two-hand touch. Because, again, he's so experienced, he knows the things that he needs to watch for and where it's most likely going to have problems. The other thing that we need to be really cognizant of as breaststrokers, not that I'm a breaststroker, but for breaststrokers, is that when they are kicking, that they don't do a dolphin kick during their stroke. And he's watching that right now. He's looking out there. Are their hands moving at the same rate that they're not separating? Are their feet moving? Are they not doing flutter kicks? Are they not doing dolphin kicks? That's the primary things that he's looking for. Let's see here. Lindbergh, which one is it? It's Anna in lane 7, really leading quite strongly in this event. Way to go. And then we have Kinkle down in lane 4. Yep. Grinnell giving a strong showing.
I just noticed the difference when you're looking at heads across. It seems like Lindbergh, her head comes up, but opposed to Isabel, her head really, her shoulders come up and out of the water. Is there a difference? Is that just how much power they're getting out of their stroke?
You're getting at it. So what we could see here is Lindbergh might have a more streamlined stroke. One might argue a more, possibly, you know, I'd want to be down there looking really close at it to be sure, but a more efficient stroke. And your point, when someone puts a lot of power into breaststroke, because of the way the pull pattern, they could be driving their body up out of the water or higher. But when you do that, what you end up doing is presenting the full front of your body towards the water, and that creates a lot of frontal drag. It's also, there's no reason for you to come high out of the water because the direction you want to go is forward. You want to get to that other wall. However, when a breaststroker does come up high, that gives them the opportunity to drive with a lot of leg force, a lot of kick force, forward and down, which allows your body to operate like a wave and use your whole body to press water backwards. And you can drive your body forward by, like, in a sense, like riding that wave downward.
23, girls junior varsity 400-yard freestyle relay. Mr. Starter.
We see elite breaststrokers swimming both ways. All right, JV 400 free relay, only east here. So in this one, we're going to see 4 swimmers, each do a 100 freestyle.
In lane 6 from Deloitte East, Taylor Weirs Asa.
So
Mariana Montez, Chloe Perry, and Denise Navarrete.
we can watch it here in the JV, but when it's going to be really notable is during the varsity race. And something that I haven't spoken to yet during this meet is during starts and relay exchanges, when you're coming off the blocks, what you're going to really want to see is are they driving with their legs? And so I expect that we will see many of the swimmers, while there'll be a big wind up with their arms, meaning swinging them around to get some momentum going on their start during the relay exchange. They're going to step forward and get that momentum with their body. Are they going to bend their knees down and drive off the blocks? Because that's really going to give them a lot of power going into the water. Like I said, I doubt we'll see a lot of that here in the JV race, but who knows?
But when we switch to varsity, we'll see the dive and kick
instead
of the hand to touch.
The dive to kick.
Well, like she just come down, she just touched the wall, spun. We'll see, like we've seen the other ones, where they swim and then they just
they'll do a flip turn, push off underwater. Yep. So here you can see this East swimmer doing a relay exchange, and she was kind of just doing like a regular start, and it'll be very different in the varsity race. They'll be standing up and they'll swing their arms and they'll move their body through to have a lot of momentum coming into the water. So I think, oh yeah, we're just looking at viewers, and if I have the freedom, give a shout out to, I think we got people watching from St. Louis and probably across the nation. I'm pretty sure my parents and in-laws were eager to hear my Rowdy Gaines impression.
You know, it's quite interesting, Tim, because after our first 2 weeks of sports, I do a diagnostics in YouTube. After 7 days, then they'll tell you where people are listening from. And we tagged every country.
That is fantastic.
In our first 2 weeks. And, when I sent it out, and then I had a few people reply back as a private message saying, that's my aunt or uncle that they're in the military, or, there's somewhere listening. So it's really neat that we can provide the service that there's someone that wants to watch and someone that may never get to see a niece or a nephew or a grandkid if it wasn't for the live stream. So,
and anybody that is watching, I want to take the opportunity to say that this is a service provided. I mean, it's incredible what you do for all of the Tiger Sports viewers and the Grinnell community.
The number one reason I do it is because it's fun.
I appreciate being asked to come help out.
That sometimes is the hard part, is finding people that could speak educated on what's going on. I can take care of basketball and football, but beyond that, I bring my experts in, and that helps out a lot.
No, don't call me unless you want some really entertaining color commentary for those. My in-laws can tell you all about that.
Well, half of it is you probably, after last time, you and Katie both said, geez, he asked a lot of dumb questions, but I don't know. And that's how I over time, I think there's one meet that you're not going to be here.
That's right.
So as I'm trying to figure to fill in the spots, I might have to be that guy.
Well, and I'm glad that you're asking these questions, because I expect that we do have viewers on here who have the same questions. Because, again, this sport allows anyone that can essentially swim across the pool, and frankly, I know some teams that you don't even have to be that talented to be on the team, and everybody can participate. I mean, I think people are probably getting that sense from watching these JV races, that if we can get people to get across the pool, you're probably going to be welcomed into this sport. And I think that's even an opportunity for me to say, sometimes people get kind of wrapped up in sport, competition, success, when they're thinking about high school sports or even college sports. And the truth of the matter is, in every sport, me having been a college coach for many years, there is space for everyone in a sport if that's what they want to be doing. They just need to find the right place for them.
Well, and to add one more thing to that, if you are a freshman or a sophomore, there's not a lot of varsity sports that as a freshman or sophomore that you can actually do something and actually perform on the varsity level. So with the swimming and the numbers the way they are, if you come out and you may have a hard year your freshman year getting into it, but as we talked offline on our last one, you were telling me that there's a lot of these kids that they've been doing it since they're 6-7 years old through our little, what do they call them, tiger sharks, and they do that at the swimming pool. So it isn't something they just dived into the pool today and started. They've been doing it a while,
right?
And I think it kind of contributes back to our diving program and what we're seeing of our fast swimmers, that the tiger sharks must be doing something right.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely need to give recognition to all of our high school coaches who we know they give more than what they're paid for, and that's probably even more true for these the young development teams in our communities everywhere. The people who show up and do that work, help kids have fun, learn their sports. I mean, plenty of even college coaches and professional coaches would argue that those are some of the most important coaches, the ones that are teaching the fundamentals.
I think that goes with all sports.
Right.
If you didn't have it, you wouldn't have your athletes where they're at today when they get into high school.
Yeah. In case Cora Miller, Forrest Barons, Josie Smith are listening in, I just want to share that they're probably being missed on the team this year, but I think they can have good faith that the newcomers and the returners are making a good showing for their team.
Well, I'm sure that Coach Smith sent Josie probably 3 different links saying, you have to watch, you have to watch, you have to watch.
All right, that's the junior varsity 400 free relay. Let's watch this last 400 free relay.
Event 24, girls varsity 400-yard freestyle relay, Mr. Starter.
This is another event where Grinnell set school records last year, I'm pretty certain. With some of those athletes that I just mentioned. Again, only Grinnell and East here.
In lane 3 from Des Moines East.
So good starts from Grinnell there. You can see that we're leading. Both swimmers out in lane 4 and lane 7. First to the wall, flipping, going under that water, getting out there towards the flags. High turnover.
In lane 6 from East, Audrina Cisneros, Vian Streetwest, Eliza Berglund, and Addison
And a
Stansel.
strong showing here from Grinnell to wrap up a meet where they've done quite well throughout.
Macy Lau and Isabel Hinkle. And in lane 9 from East, Regina Garcia Fuentes, Valerie Robles, Olivia Sheridan, and Trudy Hutchins.
So as I was talking about earlier, in lane 7, we can see, I think it's Piper Rundle, stepping up there on the block, 2 feet back. She's going to swing her arms, step forward, and drive off the block. Oh, that was a good knee bend. Yeah. In lane 4, we got Peyton Zylstra in the water. If she could step forward a little bit further and get her toes over the front of the block, she would have even more pressure to be able to push out on those. She was bending her knees, but even deeper knee bend and driving off the front of the block, give her even more power coming into the water. She's a strong swimmer. I think she's pulling back up ahead to the B relay. Oh yeah, her split is almost a second faster than what we're seeing in lane 7. That being Peyton in lane 4. Oh, but she might have went out a little strong. We'll see if she can keep it up. That was good at coming off the wall. Piper is holding it, though. Same thing, 2 feet back, step forward. Oh, good. Hey, I think we've been practicing relay exchanges. Way to go, team. We got pretty even relays here. I kind of wonder if Coach didn't mix them up, make them competitive, give them something to race.
Lane 3 caught up about a half a swimmer on that turn.
And it shows in their times, in their splits. Here we go.
It's almost neck and neck right now.
Lane 4 is taking the lead. It's gonna come down to Caitlin Seek and Isabel Kinkle. Based on history, I think we might know which relay is gonna take it, but there can always be surprises. Izzy is the strong freestyler on the team.
Well, Caitlin
in the
had
sprints
a good.
especially. Yeah, you're right. She did come off the wall really well. Caitlin Seek's been strong showing. And I think we've seen family-wise that they've been strong with siblings in distance stuff. So she might be able to bring it home in the last length, but
Isabel just has such a pull when she makes
exactly.
her.
But we as you pointed out, we see Caitlin come off the walls really well. But yep, Isabel's just so strong. I don't think that splits right in lane 4. Sometimes somebody might get out of the pool at the wrong time from the relay exchange, and they might hit the pad. I didn't actually see it, but usually that's what causes that. Congratulations, Grinnell. Fantastic showing. Look forward to the next meet when we can share some more insight with you. Being that I don't make it here too often, I accept any and all criticism and feedback.
You know the best part about our stream? I have the comments turned off. Which if people really want to criticize, they know how to get to me. There's a little chat box on our website. But
okay.
I have never had anything negative. And I probably just jinxed myself, but it's all been positive. If anything, it's recommendations. Could you do this or could you do that?
Right, yeah, that's that. Yeah, if anyone wants anything, don't hesitate to say so. I want to make sure that people enjoy this. The sport doesn't get a lot of TV time, and even webcast time, but we are happy to take it when we can get it. And
it is kind of funny though, because they always say that the swimming during the Olympics is one of the most watched.
Yep, you're right. Oh boy, the lights are on a timer, and maybe that's not obvious on the webcast, but we just lost a good portion of the lights in the facility. That won't affect the meet any, I don't think, though. We've got seconds left.
That is, we experienced that softball diamonds one night. They shut off at 10 o'clock, and it went dark. The press box lights were the only thing on.
There we go. Got them turned back on quickly. Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you very much, Tim. And, for everyone joining us on the Tiger Sports Livestream Network, I want to say another shout out to our sponsors, Poly Ice Pizza, Grinnell Mutual, Ramsey Weeks Insurance, and Ramsey Weeks Real Estate, Proline Building Company, Weldon Drywall, Latitude Signage and Design, Mayflower Community Homes, Haskell Communications, Dairy Barn, Prairie Lakes Church, Wagon Wheels West, S&S Electric, Unity Point, Grinnell Hospital, Family Dentistry, and the Grinnell State Bank. Also a shout out to Brent Nickel for bringing our sections to us tonight. Lastly here is Grinnell Firestone. And also I forgot all about our weekly, and I might not even have it up here, but the Strand Theater is also a weekly sponsor. And check out our social media. We always have their posts for what the movies of the week are. And as it's going to get hot this weekend, find somewhere cool and get in and watch a movie, grab one of those comfy seats. So, on behalf of Tim Hammond, I am I guess I wasn't even the play-by-play. You were the play-by-play guy. I was just the one asking the dumb questions. But I'm Dan Walker. Thank you for joining us on the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network.
This live stream is a copyright of the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network. Reproduction or distribution of this live stream without permission of the Tiger Sports Live Stream Network is a violation of the law.